Yeah, I'm going to begin today's vocabulary class now. Hope you're all doing well. Before I begin, is my audio okay? Can you hear me well? And is my screen vi visible to everyone? Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Isaac. Okay, so I'll begin the class now. I see we have a new face in this class, so I'm going to read out this warning carefully. Don't use offensive language, whether it be orally or typing it out in a chat, or you will be removed from the class and reported to administration. So yeah, don't use any offensive language, please. So with that, let's begin. Hey, so here's the first word of the day. So this time I'd like Rubia. Rubia, could you read out the word, the definition in the sentence, please?
And thrilling, delightful, fascinating, or engaging someone's attention. Beautiful, captivating, mis mesmerizing, or spell spelling
Spellbinding.
spellbinding.
Yeah.
For most teenage boys, the beauty of swimsuit models is in thrilling, to say the least.
Wonderful. Great job, Rubia. Thank you very much for reading all of that. Yeah. Uh, I noticed that you did say this word as enthralling at the very end. If you look at the pronunciation, which you can use if you're having trouble pronouncing this word, it says enthralling. So if you're having trouble trying to figure out how to pronounce this word, then you could just refer to the pronunciation guide over here. But yeah, you did a wonderful job. So yeah, enthralling, just a word to describe something as delightful or engaging, something that catches people's attention in a good way, like something that's exciting or beautiful. So it says 2 minutes to write, but I'll give you guys 3 minutes to write out a three-sentence paragraph. I would like you guys to type out 3 sentences for the writing you submit, and then I will look over your submissions and edit them as needed. Don't be afraid to try different things or to experiment with your writing. Just try to use the word at least once in your writing. Okay? So I'll let you all begin now. You can submit it in the chat when you're done. And if you have any questions, you could ask me via direct message on Zoom. Okay? You can all begin. All right, everyone, 3 minutes is up. If you're finishing up or finished with your paragraphs now, please submit it in the chat. All right, thank you, Isaac. Okay, so looks like Isaac submitted something in the chat. Thank you, Isaac. Okay, sorry. So I'm going to go over your submission now, Isaac. Rubia, if you are still working on your paragraphs and find that you finish it while I'm editing, feel free to submit it in the chat as I'm going through the current submissions, and then I'll go over yours. So Isaac wrote, the island I visited is called Coco Cay. The island is owned by Royal Caribbean International, a cruise company. The island is so enthralling. I have been on one of their ship called Icon of the Seas. It is the largest and fanciest ship in the whole world, setting a record. Yeah, great paragraph, Isaac. Use the word enthralling very well to describe a good positive experience. Your Yeah, you wrote this very well. Everything, all the sentences connect well together, being pretty descriptive. Good job, Isaac. Yeah, great work. So, some things I would fix. Some things I would fix. I would say this instead of the, because you already identified the island. When you're using this, it's generally proper grammar, and you're specifically talking about that island, Coco Cay. Good use of a comma here. And over here, I've been on one of their ship called Icon of the Seas. So I'm going to change this sentence a little bit. So I've been on one of their ships. This should have an S at the end. And I'm going to change, well, you don't have to change called, but I think it's generally better to say known as. I've been on one of their ships known as Icon of the Seas, and I'll just add a comma here. World, world setting a record. I get what you're trying to say here, but the way you wrote it out, I think it needs a comma, and then after that comma, yeah, we could just leave it at that. It is the largest and fanciest ship in the whole world, setting a size record. So, size. But yeah, great work, Isaac. Wonderful job. Okay, thank you, Rubia. I'll go over your submission now. Just modifying the, sorry. Okay, so Rubia, you wrote, in those seasons, the most delightful one in the year is the season when leaves fall from the sky to the land. The sound of leaves slash on the ground. The bright red color of the leaves is enthralling. Yeah, wonderful. Great job, Rubia. I like your descriptiveness with your writing. Good use of the word enthralling to describe the season you're talking about. There are a couple of things I would fix, though. You did a great job, I can assure you that, but there are some things I would like to fix. So instead of saying in those seasons, which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I'd use something like among the seasons or among the four seasons for if we want to be specific. This makes more grammatical sense. Among the four seasons, the most delightful one in the year is the season when leaves fall from the sky to the land. I like your style of writing over here. The sound of leaves slash on the ground. Yeah, I like your very descriptive language and personification over here. This is great. The bright red color of, so I'm going to change the to those. The bright red color of those leaves, since it seems like we're talking about the same leaves that are falling on the ground and the same leaves in those seasons. The bright red color of those leaves is enthralling. Also, because we're talking about the leaves in that particular season you're talking about. Over here, it would be optional to add, just to be more specific and clear with what you're saying. I'd add known as fall after from the sky to the land, but I think it's an optional thing personally. You did a great job, Rubia. Amazing work. So I'm going to move on to the next word now. You both did great. Okay, so Isaac, I'd like you to read out this word, the definition of that word, and the sentence, please.
Enunciate, verb, to pronounce distinctly, articulate. To give a speech that explains something clearly and lucidly. When you enunciate, you also elucidate and edu
Educate.
educate. So don't wait. The speech therapist worked with Sam on his inability to properly enunciate words that begin with the letter T.
Wonderful. Thank you, Isaac. Great reading. So yeah, enunciate, a verb. It's describing the action of saying or pronouncing something very clearly. So like, for example, in the sentence, the speech therapist worked with Sam on his inability to properly enunciate words that begin with the letter T. We're saying he's working on his ability to properly pronounce or words that begin with the letter T or say words with the letter T clearly. That's what enunciate means. So again, I'll give you all 3 minutes to write out a three-sentence paragraph. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the chat, and you can all get started now. All right. 3 minutes is up. It's like I got a submission from Isaac. Thank you. I'll go over your submission now. Again, if you are still working on your paragraph while I'm editing, feel free to submit it in the chat when you're finished while I'm editing, if you do manage to finish. Oh, thank you, Rubia. I'll paste yours on the same slide. Yeah, wonderful. Both submissions are looking great. So I'll go over Isaac's paragraph first. He wrote, "My enunciation is very good. I never mispronounce a word. So that is why I always get A plus in English." Yeah, this is a good sentence, Isaac, but you use the word enunciation. Uh, I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to do, and I think that's great. You use the word enunciation correctly, but I would have liked it better if you use the word that is provided rather than an alternative form or alternative type of word that's related to this. So this is a very simple fix we could do in order to use the word enunciate here. So instead of saying this, again, I would like you to use the word as it is described in the slide. So I'd like you to use the word enunciate, not enunciation. So you could say instead of my enunciation is very good, you could say I enunciate my words very good. Or instead of good, it would feel more appropriate to say well. I enunciate my words very well. I only changed good to well because I modified the start of the sentence. I never mispronounce a word. So that is why I always get A plus on English. So over here, I'll get rid of so, capitalize the T in that. And since we're referring to the letter grade as a thing, it would be proper to you to add N in order to indicate that noun. That is why I always get an A plus in English. So overall, this was a well-written paragraph, Isaac, though I would have liked it better if you use the word as depicted on the slide, enunciate, rather than enunciation. Or you could use, like, I'd like you to use it as a verb or the type of word that is described here. So enunciate, enunciating, or you could use an adverb, for example. Right? But anyway, well done, Isaac. And now for Rubia's submission. In the quiet of dawn, I enunciate my dreams. Each syllable is a step towards the light that shine. With every word I speak, my heart finds wings to soar. Yeah, interesting work, Rubia. This is great. Very interesting read. I like how you wrote it as a type of poem. I like how you used enunciate to, well, you used a different definition of enunciate, which is pretty good. The second definition for enunciate is to like express something. Use a more indirect term for it, which is great. It means you have a good grasp of what the word already means. Okay, this is great. Very well done. But one edit I would make is shine should have an S. Each syllable is a step towards the light that shines, not shine. Like, if you're using a verb at the end, it should have an S at the end. Each syllable is a step towards the light that shines. He is a person that swims, not he is a person that swim. And with every word, swings the sword. Yeah, this is very interestingly written, Rubia. I quite like it. Great job. So I'm going to move on to the next word now. All right, now, Rubia, I'd like you to read out this word, the definition, and the sentence, please.
Epiphany, a sudden intuitive leap of understanding, often with credit given to divine inspiration. A sudden manifestation of essence or meaning something, a revelation. When capitalized, refers to Christian festival celebrating the manifestation of Christ to the Gentiles. Seemingly uh, miraculous
Miraculous.
circumstances, miraculous circumstances, such as an unexplained recuperation from serious illness, often lead a person to an epiphany, regretting the blessings
Blessings.
of life. Blessings
Blessings
of
of
life.
life. Yeah, well done, Rubia. Great job. One thing I noticed when you were reading out this paragraph, the definition mostly is you were skipping a few words. Like when you were reading this sentence, a sudden manifestation, and the rest of it, you skipped out on the words the and of. When you're reading out the definition in the example sentence with the word, I would like you to read and pronounce every word out loud. Like read out every word out loud. But yeah, you did a great job. So in epiphany, in simpler terms, yeah, it's a sudden intuitive leap of understanding, or it you could say it as a sudden realization of something, like a sudden understanding of something. It's like you suddenly realized something, for example. Like I had an epiphany where I realized that the washing machine wasn't turned off when I left, for example. Or like a few years ago, I had an epiphany. You could say it like that. Basically used to describe a sudden realization. So yeah, I'll give you 3 minutes to write out your three sentence paragraphs, everyone. You can all begin. Okay, everyone, 3 minutes is up. You're finishing up with your paragraphs or finished with your paragraphs, please post them in the chat. If you guys are having trouble with the word, I'm only saying this because I noticed there is no submissions right now. If you guys are having trouble with it, let me know, and then maybe I could give you guys another minute or so. Oh, thank you, Rubia. I'll go over your submission. Wonderful, thank you. So, Rubia, you wrote, as night falls and epiphany dawns, a whisper of night breaks the daylight. With each revelation, the day turns to night. Yeah, thank you, Rubia. Good job. I see you, I see the way you wrote. It's in poem form again, which is good. Very interesting way of writing. I can't find any real grammatical errors I would need to correct over here. I think you used epiphany in a very abstract, interesting way. I like the way you used it. Like, you're saying epiphany as like a metaphor for like a realization when day becomes night. It's a more abstract thing that is difficult to explain or grasp if you don't. But yeah, I think you did a good job. Maybe for the next submission, you could try a way using a word less abstract like this. Be a little more direct with the way you write. But yeah, I'm not saying to stop doing this outright. This is very good writing. And yeah, like the smiley face. Okay, so if that's all, then I might move on. Isaac, are you almost done with your paragraph? If there's no submission, then I'm going to move on to the next word. All right. Okay, so here's the next word. I think this is a much more simpler word to use than the previous one. So, Isaac, could you read out this word, its definition, in the example sentence, please?
Eradicate.
Uh,
Ver.
that's Read the
Eradicate.
pronunciation again. It's a difficult word to pronounce.
Eradicate.
Uh, eradicate.
Eradicate.
Yeah.
Verb. To destroy, get rid of, or do away with utterly. To wipe a thing out, leaving no sign, so it cannot recur or return. It is the greatest hope of many medical researchers to eradicate cancer within the next 20 years.
Great. Thank you, Isaac. Well done. So eradicate, a verb, describes the action of destroying or getting rid of something. You could use it in multiple ways, like eradicate the pest problem, eradicate cancer or eradicate disease, or you could say to eliminate a concept, a harmful concept. Like we need to eradicate discrimination, for example. You could use it like that. Yeah, eradicate just means to get rid of something. And again, I'll give you all 3 minutes to write out a three-sentence paragraph, and you can all get started now. All right, 3 minutes is up. Ah, both of you managed to submit something. Thank you very much. Awesome job, everyone. I'll post your submissions now. This is going to be the last word we cover. Oops. Just both of your submissions here. Both paragraphs look wonderful. Okay, great. So I'll go over Isaac's submission first. Isaac wrote, my mom, dad, and I always clean our house's window to eradicate dust and other dirty things that may be on the window. We only clean the windows that lead to the backyard. Sorry, two more windows to clean, but I already cleaned two. Yeah, well done, Isaac. This is a great paragraph. Good use of the word eradicate to tell a story. I like the way you tried to tell a story here. This is very, very fun read. Some edits I would make. Since you indicated my mom at the start, I'd like you to use the word my to indicate your dad too. My mom, my dad, and I. Right? Always and I would, I'll add the word would here, would always clean our house's window. So I noticed you use the word window here, but then you indicate in the next sentence that you only clean the windows that lead to the backyard. So to keep consistency, I'm just going to change the window here to plural to indicate that you clean the windows. Alternatively, you could get rid of the window, the plural of window here. You could get rid of the S here, alternatively, is what I'm saying. But yeah, we're just keeping things consistent here with what you're describing. Good use of the word eradicate. So nothing wrong with saying on the window, though it is a little bit repetitive. Personally, to be more efficient and concise, I just write them because we already indicated that we're cleaning windows, so the reader will likely know what you're talking about. Clean the windows that lead to the backyard. Two more windows to clean, but I already cleaned two. This part is, I think I get what you're trying to say. It's written a little bit unusual though. So I think we could rearrange this sentence. So over here, I'll just get rid of this. So I'm just going to I'm going to move this portion of the sentence to here. I already cleaned two windows. So now there are only two more to clean. I'm going to change it to that. Just change this to a lowercase. And yeah, that's all I would fix. Yeah, well done, Isaac. Great work. I just had to modify that last sentence a bit and change some of the grammar that you applied. But yeah, awesome work. I like the way you told a story. Now, Rubia, you wrote, "In the garden of our souls, we eradicate the darkness with hope as the sword to break the light in." Yeah, very interesting way of writing once again. I see this is a common theme with your writing. Very abstract. I quite enjoy it. Yeah. So use the word eradicate here and yeah, you used the word eradicate well. You told a nice story with what you're trying to say. Very abstract. Hope as the sword. I like this representation to break the light in. Yeah, with the way you wrote it, you're writing it as if it's some sort of abstract story. In that case, the absence of some traditionally grammatically correct writing, the absence of that is justified with this particular style of writing. If I were if I were to correct this though, to make it more grammatically correct, I would just mer I would just merge these two sentences together in order to be grammatically correct. But I understand what you're trying to communicate in the form of a sort of abstract poem thing. So I'm not going to go over your work. I'm just going to add an alternative of what could be written if you wanted to be as grammatically correct as possible and to make the sentence structure as correct as possible with hope as the sword. We will break the light in. This is another way you could write it if you wanted to follow grammatical rules. But again, this is written very abstractly, which I quite enjoy. And yeah, you did a very well done job, Rubia. Great work. So yeah, sorry guys, we are a little bit over time, 3 minutes over time. But yeah, you all did spectacular today. This was a great session. You all did very good. Yeah, thank you for attending today's class. I'm going to end it off here since it's getting a bit late. And yeah, see you all next weekend. And I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Isaac.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Rubia.